So over the last year, like I think most of the people, even their founders or developers or even investors, everyone is saying SaaS is dead and AI will replace software. When ChatGPT is doing something, when Claude Code is doing something, when Claude Design is doing something, uh, everything will be done by these two softwares only. And every software SaaS product and company will be wiped out. I could not believe it, and I did research myself, and I spent days working on YC companies like Y Combinator companies, and there are 462 companies that they have funded till July, in 2026. 462 companies in this AI agentic era. You don't believe me, right? I did research on all these companies, on 462 of them, and I figured out a pattern, like what kind of companies they are trying to fund. So after analyzing this company, I have found there are six major bets. The first one is a picks and shovels bet, right? And there are around 37 companies of them. The second bet is an agent economy bet, and there is around 68 companies of them. The third one is a trust bet, right? There are 44 companies in them. There is a be the firm bet. There is a 221 companies in them. Be the firm means when you try to build the agent, right, or the SaaS, become the complete company itself. And there are 221 companies that YC has funded. General Legal, Lucas Mortis, they are trying to replace the complete law firm. They're trying to not help the law firm, but replace the complete law firm. It's not replacing, it's not giving them a software so that they can upload a document and build a rag and try to ask questions and try to help generate a new document. This, like, fucking replace the law firm. Put the software, and that software will do all the law things. That will try to communicate on behalf of the client, right? So there is a physical world bet. There is a cheap intelligence bet. All these six different bets that I have put in. The most important one is a be the firm bet, and there are 221 companies that they have invested in. The first one is a peak and service bet. On basis of it, companies like Context.dev, like companies like Godhands, companies like Run Infra, Archer, Inkbox, they are not trying to compete with ChatGPT. They're not trying to compete with Claude. They are trying to help them. And these kind of company Vice is investing. Context.dev is straightforward, a company where you can put URLs, website URLs, or let's say PDFs, that data that can connect with the LLMs, right? So that you have a business, you have lots of different documents, your website, your other support pages everywhere else. You put all the data inside context.dev, you connect context.dev with the LLM, and then you will get a real-time information to the LLM. So that's what context.dev is doing. It's not trying to compete with it. It's trying to help LLM build, being a better one. And look at Godhands about helping do better computer use. We'll come and cover it in details in next, later. Run Infra, look at, there are lots of open source models are available in the market, but Run Infra helps them to just deploy it very easily. Like, let's say you have DeepSeek model, right? And you want to deploy DeepSeek model, you have to understand which GPU you're going to use on NVIDIA. Right? You use an Run Infra, you click on a button, you describe in one sentence what exactly you want to deploy for, how many users will be gonna using it, and Run Infra will set everything for you. Straightforward, no fighting with the models, helping them, helping other businesses build something. Look at Archel. I think Archel is to just QA the agents once you're trying to make it before production. So like, before production there is Archel, just after production there is use by law. So before production, whatever you do the QA, you do with this Archer. You try to test the agent, and after the production you have use by law, so that the model doesn't do a reference to someone else. That not meant to be. There is Inkbox, for example. So right now what we do is we try to build an API key from platform OpenAI or from Claude. We use those API keys and try to build softwares or agents, right? But we just use API keys. We try to define the prompt. We build the agent. But we don't. What we don't do, if we don't give the identity to that each and every agent that we build. This Inkbox is trying to build identity to each and every agent that you're gonna put in your organization, and the permission that they can have, the limitation that they can have. So it's not about just API keys. It's above than that. It's like giving identity to each and every agent. So companies like this are getting built. Compressor and token company, they are trying to squeeze the token usage. compress it, like, there was file, there was JPEG, and you compress the JPEG, you build zip, and zip became the company, ziprar, etc. Piraeus Lab and other ones. Second bit is about agent economy bit. Think about every human needs like bank account, they need credit card, debit cards, they need their own identity, right? All the economy that roam around every human on this planet. Think about the agents that's gonna be in the future. YC is betting on companies that they are trying to build entire economy for agents, right? Like credit cards for agents, like bank accounts for agent, like insurance companies for agent, phone numbers for agent, identity for agent, and in AI agent will need all those things in the future, right? That's why companies like Agent Card, Claim Me, Inkbox, right, Agent Phone are being funded, and they are building a complete economy of softwares for them. So also there is insurance company that is getting built like Claimy and Mount, uh, and Inkbox is for identity to make sure that you give a certain identity to a particular agent that is working in your bigger organization. And there is agent phone that can give a phone number to the agent. Think about an agent will have a phone number, you call to that phone number, and an agent will pick up. Certainly it happens, but it's like a complete customer support module. But think about in the coming future when every company will have 5, 10 agents, and each one of them have their own identity name and their different phone number. There could be a simple SaaS company that will help figure out names for these different agents. Like, I don't know, people gonna call these agents as Abhishek or Rahul or let's say Kapoor or something like that. Maybe Patel or something like that. But that name service is also kind of a SaaS business that you can start building so that you can name these agents. Let's say they're trying to build companies around guardrails because they want to stop these agents becoming going rogue. So they build Salus and Watto, for example. This is really interesting. This is really interesting. They are even building a startup like Rent a Human. You heard it right. Rent a Human is just to rent a human by an AI agent. So let's say AI agent will pay $20 to do certain things for a human to do, let's say, some click or something around the line in the future, right? And there is bank, insurers. So that's either brilliant or completely insane, I would say, by OIC. But definitely they are much smarter than most of the people around the globe. Yeah. And the third bit is about the third bit is I was just checking my mic. So it was the third bit is about trust bit. This is the third one, right? So when AI will become smarter, stronger, and it will sit with its own identity, and it will sit with multiple different organization sections, right? Completing the complete block of organization, or let's say some set of organization. Then the bigger companies, like let's say financial, healthcare, insurance, they will definitely care about if they can trust it or not. So there are companies that are trying to build to make sure you can trust your agent. Means you can trust that service, and that service will make sure that the agents will not go rogue, and they will comply with the policy and the compliance that you have uploaded, like companies have uploaded, right? So there is company like example used by law. So what they does is once you deploy the application to the production, use by law has all the compliance in the documents given by the company that makes sure that these rules must have been followed by the agent. And then use by law will do it. Use by law will always check anything will happen with this agent. It will check. Check about rubric, centrial, they are solving. So the AI becomes more smarter, the the more valuable trust becomes, right? So I told you by law forces agent to prove their evidence before acting. So they have to prove, the agent has to prove what they're acting upon. Similar way the human does, like if a ethical human is there in a set of organization, rubric AI checks for reasoning. Centrial and Moda watch agents in production like Datadog watches server, because you have to look at all the logs, what all agents are doing with their own identity. So nobody deploys, let's say, AI that they can verify. So there has to be a set of companies building around these trust thing, correct? So while everyone is race to make AI more capable, these people are quietly trying to make them reliable, building these trust software. So if I can wrap this particular segment, so I can say that AI can reason, but enterprises will still need verification, and that's another new SaaS category that you can work upon. Then the fourth one is be the firm bet, and I think this is the most important bet that YC is making, and they have invested around 221 companies in just around 2026. What they are trying to build, they are just not trying to build another workflow or a wrapper around these LLMs, or trying to consume their APIs, or build another set of agents or orchestration. They are trying to replace a complete set of organization uh, from the business. Let's say you need to have a lawyer that can write certain amount of document for you so that you can file a case in a court. But let's say the lawyers also using some software so that they can use a software to write the document. Right now, what Mortys and General Legal are saying that you don't need a lawyer itself. You can just directly go to General Legal and it will help you build that all the documents by yourself. Correct. So these are the things that be the firms is replace a complete firm. Right? Think about tax filing happens in India. Think about the ITR submission, the balance sheet creation of the companies. Replace everything. Even for the signature, you need CA, hire the CA, and then he'll sign, and then it will go submitted. So companies like Rote, now Rote is for auto body shop owners. They what it does is it helps insurer, and it helps the shop owner negotiate with the insurer, so that every penny that he is invested in building that car that was got into accident, he will get from the insurer, and Root will fight with insurer till he gets every money. Company like General Legal, Foster, they aren't building better tools. They are replacing entire workflow, the complete system that exists. And yeah. So they are not competing with the software budget. They're competing with the complete service fee of that one set of organization. And if this work, it will they're just trying to solve it for legal, for example, legal industry, auto body shop. And if let's say it works for YC and it works for that startup, then other developers and enterprises founders will get inspired and they try to build software around it. Yeah. The fifth bit is the physical world bit. So AI is no longer limited to just software, right? It's trying to go into physical world, and for example, warehouse, manufacturing, robotics, energy. Companies like Nori, companies like Servo 7, Apollo Atomics are building products that exist in the physical world, right? And YC clearly believes that the next AI revolution won't stay inside the project. It will come outside and it will stay connected with the human. So Nori is trying to build a humanoid robot, for example, with very less amount, so that anyone can afford it, like around $1,500, right? Apollo Atomics building compact nuclear reactor. So maybe they are trying to help energy, try to make energy free and like also cheap for every household. Servo 7 makes robot that unloads shipping containers. That's really important because there are lots of shipping containers goes around the world. There are less number of workers available, so and there is no 24/7 capability. Once these kind of operators are available, the robots are available, then the shipping will be much faster. It will happen 24/7 and it will be much cheaper. Then the products sold to different globe will be much cheaper because in every supply chain there are humans involved that cost more than the robots. Correct? And let's say bot design AI chips. So the software only era in YC is kind of visibly over. Because they are funding hardware again, and the biggest next wave of AI shows up in the physical world, correct? And not just your project. It's like your home, completely home, your smart city, your cities or smart cities, your buildings, your schools, your office space, everywhere. You can think along these lines. You can think of all those problem statement that's going to be available and still available, that is very tedious, correct? And you can try to solve. So it's another SaaS category that you can build on. The last one is the cheap intelligence. Here only they have invested around 22 companies, right? So what they're trying to say, they say that in the coming days, future, the intelligence will become very, very cheap, or you can say negligible. So everyone will have access to this intelligence and AI stuff. So they are trying to build a product and data distribution infrastructure around it. That's what they are considering. And the pre-science is there. There is Boku, Superset, right? There are lots of other companies. So they're not asking what AI can do today. They are asking what becomes possible when thinking or intelligence is free, correct? And whether they are early or just wrong, that's like boldest bet that they are making. I have selected some of the flagship company that I think, and I try to differentiate on three or four different set. One is the bet that the YC is making on them. What the company is replacing in this in the entire ecosystem of, let's say, companies, and what feature and how they are trying to work. So I have given example of Root. So Root is the bit for, like, you could say, better insurance handling, right? Where there is a fight, or there is a denial PDF submitted by the insurer that no, I'll not give you the complete refund. I'll give you a less refund, and they say I have five different points and objective due to which I'm not giving you the complete money. Then the body shop owner goes to Root. Root will fight to insurer for to get all the pennies that he has invested while building the accident car. These kind of companies, there is god hands. You see, you have already seen computer use by Claude. You have already seen OpenAI operator. You have already seen, let's say, what do you call, extension by Claude. And all these uses your computer, your browser, and they certain things on your computer. They go and click on certain buttons, right? So they usually do is they take the screenshot of the screen, the computer, and they try to send it to back to the LLM agent, and LLM gives a reply what to do, and they do it. So there is a very tedious process. There is a very cost involving process. What Godhead is trying to do, they are trying to build a SDK on top of different SaaS products, like, let's say, Salesforce, or let's say any different company that sits on your browser, like, let's say, even Paint, for example. And they're trying to build an SDK on top of this, so that the SDK will directly communicate with the software that sits in the computer, like Mac or Windows. And YC has funded it because a simple sentence, a simple language sentence will give instruction, and God hands will try to do certain things, like even open Excel sheet in your system and try to update the cells. Think about what happens with Claude. They have to take the complete screenshot, send back to read the complete data, and then come back. But here we are kind of doing deterministic way. We are selecting a certain cell because it's connected with low level of APIs. Look at agent card. Like, you have money similar way, credit cards, debit card. Banks will give to AI agents in the future, and agents will be purchasing on your behalf. Maybe there are a hell lot of new projects for the agents. Agents will have their credit history. Agents will have their payments being made, right? All these set of companies that you claim me. If agent will make the payment, agent will take the loan, then who will become the insurer of them? So there is an insurance company that they're trying to build. By law, we have already discussed that once you deploy to the production, you need to have certain compliance guidelines, so someone can watch it on top of it, and also block it to do certain things that is not the agent is not allowed to do. Means, if agent is allowed to refund customer A, he cannot refund to customer B. So that has to be checked in the production level, correct? So all after analyzing all these 462 startups, I noticed something. None of these companies started with AI. They have started with the pain point, correct? That will be available in the future when AI agents will be there in the complete ecosystem. And they don't build the AI feature. They don't build the wrapper around it. They don't use the APIs or OpenAI APIs or Claude APIs. They try to build the complete AI business. So I'd say SaaS is not dead. It's kind of evolving. I think this is the highest topmost time I personally see after reading all these 462 startups and the funding given by YC, and everything that is being funded by YC is to help the agent, in the future. It's not like YC is dumb and they don't know who they are funding. It's like definitely all of them not gonna be successful, but at least even 10% or 15% of them gonna be successful then it's very huge for YC and for the complete AI agent industry, right? So I'd say SaaS is not dead, and we are seeing the biggest transformation in the coming decades, and AI isn't replacing SaaS. AI is creating an entirely new generation of SaaS companies. And if YC invested are any indication, the next billion-dollar company won't be just build AI, they'll build everything AI needs to work in, the real world. And that's why I believe SaaS isn't dying, it's evolving. Okay. So I have also made one video where for 2 hours, and I'm talking from, let's say, taking one simple idea of a product and try to build it completely. And I try to show how you can build the idea, of how you can build the prompt, how you're gonna use cursor, how you're gonna create accounts in Firebase or Stripe or Cloudflare, so that once you can deploy, you can create database, you can create security for your apps application for Cloudflare. You can use Stripe to make the payments, etc. You create a subscription, and I combined all this set together and created one long video so that you can watch. And let's say you come with any of these ideas, right? You can build around those lines, or you can communicate with me. I'm available on LinkedIn, and you can communicate with me. We can sit together, we can discuss how your ideas are working. I can freely help you to organize all the setup that you have, right? And build the software that you need. So whether you stay in USA, San Francisco, that is the most popular place where YC is funding for. If you don't stay there, that if you stay there, that's well and good. If you don't stay there, and you stay somewhere else, then definitely you should try building along these lines, or the different set of bits and these different features, right? Hope you like the video. Make sure you comment and subscribe. Thank you.